Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well today. Just 1 minute to check the voice quality and we'll begin very soon. Okay, so everything looks fine as I see. So we are going to look at today some of the main indicators of the market. The first one is dollar index. We are going to look at the USD pairs. So these are the market movers and also Bitcoin after the first currencies. So the beginning, we are going to look at the fundamental perspective and what the market is already going to share during this week. So on Tuesday morning, we are going to have the Bank of Australia meeting minutes. I am not expecting anything interesting at this point, considering that they have shared a monetary policy statement, and probably they may share a dovish statement here, considering that they were not hawkish during the previous time. During the European morning, we are going to look at some interesting data from Germany. This is going to be very important. All the numbers that are going to be above 50 are going to show for a strong recovery in this number. So it is good that if we are going to have numbers above 50 related with this data. Also, after 30 minutes or 10 a.m. European time, we are going to have some other data from Eurozone. Just 1 minute, please. We are going to have some other data from Eurozone here. It is going to be interesting as well. And the most important part for tomorrow will be during the US morning. We are going to have the Bank of Canada with Consumer Price Index. So we are going to look at the CPI numbers, how they are going to impact the Canadian dollar here. It was 5.4 that it was reported during the previous month, and as you may see, this is 5.5 that is expected. We have to be very careful because it might be volatile in the same way like USD did before. So it will be very interesting. And the next one that is also important are the retail sales. So we are going to have two different indicators that have strong impact in the market. A higher number in retail sales means that we are going to have higher numbers also on the GDP data. So let's see how the numbers will come out tomorrow. It will be very interesting, but also very risky to trade. If you have any question, just let me know on the live chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. Let's be prepared for the data that we are going to have today. The European morning with the German and the Eurozone data. And the most important part are going to be the data from Canada. On Wednesday, we are going to have the Bank of Australia with the interest rate decision, as you may see, monetary policy statement, and the press conference that is the most important part because they will show their real intention, how they will support the economy, if they are going to be hawkish or dovish during this moment. So this is very, very important. This is at 3 a.m. European time, as you may see. For the interest rate decision, it was 4.25% and it is expected to be 4.75. So it is expected a 50 basis point increase on the interest rates. Exists the possibility that we may see and we should see a stronger New Zealand dollar. However, it is not a must because these days we have seen very, very strange things. So all the central banks that increased the interest rates, they didn't support their currency because the market didn't anticipate the bullish movement. But overall, the increase on the interest rates should be positive for the New Zealand dollar. On the other hand, from what I'm looking for, the New Zealand dollar is still very strong. It is showing strength related to the other currencies, and probably it will not be weak at all. So let's see what is going to happen. We are going to have some other data from Eurozone, consumer prices. Again, we have to be very careful with the CPI numbers during Wednesday. So all this week began very quiet, but it looks like we are going to have important data day after day. And during the European evening or US afternoon, we are going to have FOMC minutes. We should know that FOMC was at the beginning of February, so this will be only a summary of FOMC, and I'm not expecting anything interesting at all. Overall, they will repeat the same things what they said during the press conference, but the market will expect also for this statement as well. During Thursday, what is very important is the GDP numbers from the US, gross domestic product. It was 2.9% and it is expected to be 2.9%. Also, the quarterly index, as you may see, it was 3.5% and it is expected in the same number. However, we have to be very careful. The overall economy related with the US is performing very well, so it has higher chances that the GDP may come at 2.9, but probably we may see also a higher number than it is expected, considering that the US economy is still reporting high numbers in all the economic indicators. And that is a strong sign that probably we may have also higher numbers here, and it may support the US dollar. But we are going to look at also the technical perspective for the US dollar here. So it is not that simple overall. So let's see what is going to happen also at this point. Let's see the messages. Thank you so much to all of you for joining. Përshëndetje. Thank you. So I'm not expecting anything at all from the FOMC. On Thursday, we don't have any strong data. Probably during the evening, we have a speech from Fed's Jefferson, but as long as we have the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, they should not say anything interesting at this point, because they will express the opinion of the Fed overall, not only their opinion. So up to Thursday, we are going to face the highest impact events here. Let's get back to our technical analysis right now. We are going to look at dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, Australian dollar USD, and Bitcoin, the last one. The first one will be the dollar index. As I have shared also before, on the 4-hour, the price is developing in this way. This is the bigger picture that we are looking at during this period of time. I have shared this several times. This is the channel. It was shared when the price was in this area here. Price developed. We saw the retest of the zone and the bounce happened after this movement. During this moment, we can see that the bearish channel that we may see here, the descending channel, broke out, and the breakout from the channel, as you may see, happened after the price created this triangle pattern and we are above the channel. This is increasing the chances that the price should rise further from this point, and in this way the dollar index is going to show also the direction of the USD related currency pairs. This is overall the direction that I'm looking at for the dollar index. With the current data, I cannot anticipate if the price is going to move down further or it will rise, but considering that this piece of information here is showing that we have many buyers that are positioned close to this support zone, it is increasing the chances the dollar index will rise here. However, it can happen in two ways with this data that we have here. We may see the price to correct a bit more before it will rise, or probably it will continue to increase from this point. So the only difference that I'm looking at is only the time of correction that the price may spend above this area. So overall, as I have expressed my opinion also before, I'm still bullish on the USD dollar. So let's see what is going to happen with the USD during this moment. I'm going to delete this. This is the analysis that I shared yesterday. As you may see also on the daily picture, Euro USD is showing some bearish volume here. We have many bearish candles that are pushing the price down, and overall this movement in my opinion is very small. So at least we should see Euro USD to test the first zone, but probably it may come also to the second zone. Overall Eurozone is not performing as it should. However, we may see any price recovery. What I'm expecting for this week is related all with the GDP numbers that the US is going to report, and also the CPI data from Canada are going to impact the market as well. What we may see from this perspective is that during the previous times we were following this type of ugly pattern, this type of wedge pattern, but it is not clear in this way. However, the price broke down, and if we are going to make it smaller, the picture that we are looking at right now, we had FOMC that pushed the price up, we had the ACB, price came lower, and after that we saw another movement, and after stronger than expected non-farm payroll data, during this time they were reported 512k, and they pushed the price down further from this point. I am still expecting that the price should move lower, because also during the CPI data from the US we saw only a speculation and price came down, and the chances are very high that we may see a maximum pullback, that it may test the top and it may come down again. However, we may see also any premature move, so it can make any movement close to the middle of the pattern. It is not clear yet, but the main direction is still pointing down in my opinion. However, this is my personal opinion and what I'm looking at, so this is my trading scenario here. So let's see how this chart will develop during these days. Just one moment, I want to check the messages. Info3 TV is writing that DXY has head and shoulders. It could be very small, so it will not change the overall price direction, considering the pattern that it is showing right now. So considering the flag that I already shared, all the bullish triangle, the price should stop there, and probably the pattern can be a result as a type of failed pattern. So we have to be very, very careful in my opinion. The next one that I want to look at here, just a moment, probably we are going to look at Australian dollar, USD dollar. I have shared this analysis also before on my personal profile. During that moment, price completed only the fifth wave, and I was looking at for this price development. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave. And according to the count that was very clear, price was showing also another fifth wave for the fifth wave completion of a higher degree at this point. And as you may see, I have shared this analysis when it was close to the top. This is the analysis about Australian dollar and the US dollar. And here we have the price development that reached the first three targets here. So what can happen during this moment? If we are going to look at this piece of information that price is showing us, we may be in a difficult situation. We had a daily candle close that is pushing the price up, but on the other hand, this pattern is showing that we may have the chance for a C wave extended or as a minimum ABC clear movement. In the current price position, I don't see this pattern as completed yet. Probably the Bank of Australia that will be during the morning, Tuesday morning, and also the data that will come out from the US are going to push the price down. We are still in the price development of the C wave here. This is the price development, just 1 minute. As you may see, here we have the first wave, the second wave that was as an ABC wave here, and the chances are that we may have another wave at this point for the C wave. So we are going to have like this one, A, B, and the C wave down. For the moment, the price is still under this structure zone, under this flag here. Probably it may move lower, but it is not that easy as it looks like during this moment. However, the chances are very high that we may see the price to move down from this point. So let's see, everything is showing for a bearish movement or the bullish move from the US, but it has to be a bit more clear on the lower time frame. The next one that we are going to look at this moment, just one moment. The next one that we are going to look at is GBPUSD. This is a currency pair that I was looking at only on the 4-hour time frame, considering that price was creating this bigger picture. Overall, it looks corrective, so we may have the chance that the price may rise further from this point, but exists also the chance that we may see a fifth wave extension here. In the current position, the problem is because GBP is showing strength also in other currency pairs, and it is showing more strength related with USD. The only problem is that the fifth wave might be completed at this point, but exists also a possibility that the fifth wave may extend more. In the current position, the price is not showing anything at all here, and I think that probably we have to be careful and we have to wait for a clear picture. It is not a good idea to jump at this moment because it has some problems. If this is going to be the fifth wave completion, the chances are very high that we may see as a minimum a three-wave movement that can come close to this structure, or probably we may see an ABC movement or any other 5-wave movement that can move close to the top again. So this is more complex than it seems. In my opinion, it is better if you stay out from this currency pair for the time being, as long as the price will develop something more clear. Thank you very much to all of the guys that are joining right now. Thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate it. Info3 is writing, my relative came from US and said inflation started. Yes, it started a long time ago, but probably it is getting worse right now. Let's see. The next one that we are going to look at is Bitcoin. During these days, I was looking at Bitcoin for a 5-wave completion close to the structure. This was the correction after Celsius. No, sorry, it was after Luna. Sorry. The problem is that price stopped at this point. It is not rising further. The 5th wave looks very good, and I am expecting a 3-wave down here. If we are going to look at on a lower time frame, what I'm looking at is that I'm expecting for the price to begin the bearish movement right now. In the same zone, we didn't see the price to rise further, so it has to create the movement. But what is very surprising at this moment is that I'm looking at many altcoins that are recovering above this point here. So this is dating back in August 22, and we are looking at altcoins that are increasing further from this point. One of them that I already checked before, it was Matic. It was very strange. It was a real surprise when I checked the price here, and we can see that it already reached April 22. This is showing for a clear shift of the money from the bigger indexes, let's say, to the other altcoins. We have to be very careful because this market optimism may impact also Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it can also happen the opposite as well. So we may see Bitcoin to develop in the same area and probably to create the correction, but the liquidity that will be released may move on other altcoins. As we all know, the market is getting manipulated a lot these days. The optimism related with the crypto market is increased more than normal, but we have to be very, very careful. I am not saying that probably the 5th wave that I'm looking at is not going to break through 25, and probably it may rise further, and after that it will correct. This can happen. But considering the structure, I would like to be also careful with the market optimism during this moment. Another possible scenario that I'm looking at, because the market is not showing too many data here, we have to be very careful, because if this zone is going to hold and we are going to have a type of double top pattern, a small double top, as beginning it will push the price close to 23,500, and the break below this zone will push the price down further in order to complete the ABC movement that I'm looking at here. However, for the moment, if we are going to jump in this trade, is very risky, because if we are going to sell Bitcoin right now, we have to position the stop losses, let's say, at 26, and we may experience the price to reach our stop loss, and after that it can move lower. However, anything is 100% sure in any of the markets, so you can take the risk if you find this reasonable. It looks good, the structure is good, the fifth wave has higher chances that it may stop here, but let's see, because the price has to confirm more and how it will develop. For the moment, it's not clear at all in my opinion, despite the fact that I'm looking at for a correction in Bitcoin and probably also in altcoins. Thank you so much for your comments. I will share gold during the coming days, probably tomorrow, not today, tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, but I will promise that I will share gold analysis. I haven't prepared it yet for today. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the analysis. I would really appreciate like, support, and also don't forget to subscribe on my channels. Thank you, and I hope to see you all on the next live streaming. Bye bye.